Unit 5 Linear Time Invariant Discrete Time System, that is LTI system. A system is linear as well as time invariant. But now here we are discussing about the discrete time system. Okay, in general, the discrete time system is defined either in terms of h of n or in terms of h of z. And also we know that already the continuous time system is defined in terms of h of t or with h of s. We know that h of t or h of n is in time domain, h of z or h of s is in frequency domain. Okay, so now we are dealing with a discrete time discrete time system, that is either it is defined in terms of h of n or with h of z. H of n is called as impulse response of the discrete time system. Again, already we know that the system response is also called as impulse response, because we know that the system response is y of n. Y of n is equal to h of n convolution with x of n. When the input is impulse, h of n convolution with del n is equal to h of n. Okay, so that the h of n is also called as a system response or impulse response of the system. Okay, so there are two names. One is h of n can also be called as a system response or impulse response. Okay, so impulse response of the discrete time system is h of n. For that, if you take the z transform, that is h of z, okay, that is called as a transfer function. So that means the system is either defined in terms of h of n or with h of z. Okay, so input is either in x of n or with x of z, that is just z transform only. So similarly, the output is defined either with y of n or with y of z. We know that y of n is equal to x of n, the input convolution with the system, that is h of n, or otherwise in the z domain, the convolution becomes multiplication. Y of z is equal to x of z and h of z. So suppose now if you are given with x of n and h of n, just with the convolution formula we can calculate what is the output. Or otherwise, in other way also we can do, that is first take the z transform x of z, then z transform of h of n, h of z, then they just multiply, then we'll be getting y of z. For that, if we take inverse z transform, okay, so inverse z transform, then also we'll be getting y of n. Okay, so in general, the second procedure is a little bit easy. Just take the z transform, then multiply, then again finally you take the inverse z transform, so that we can get easily y of n instead of just doing the convolution. So the system, in general, the system can be defined with h of n, or otherwise there is one more way also is there. It may be defined with help of the combination of the input and output. Okay, the combination of the input and output defines the system nature, because y of n definitely depends on the input as well as the system. Okay, so the system may be indirectly, it may be defined in terms of x of n and y of n also. That is called as a difference equation. Okay, so difference equation is an equation which consists of only x of n and y of n, but there may be some delay like n minus 1, n plus 1, like that. Okay, that we call it as a difference equation. In time domain, we'll be using the differential equation. Similar to that, in discrete domain, we'll be using difference equation, because we cannot do the differentiation for discrete signal. So now, how to find out y of n? That is, one way is just directly we can do the convolution, or otherwise after finding the y of z, just to take the inverse z transform, then we can get y of n. If h of z or h of n is not given directly, okay, and we know that they may be defined in terms of difference equation. Okay, difference equation. Then once if difference equation is given, just to take the z transform for the difference equation, both on left hand side or and on the right hand side, then we'll be getting combination of x of z and h of z. Then if you just rearrange that, okay, we can get h of z, because we know that h of z is equal to y of z divided by x of z. Okay, take y of z one side and x of z on other side, just you divide it, then we'll be getting h of z. Further, if we take inverse z transform, then we can get h of n. Okay, suppose if they are asking unit response, unit step response, okay, then what to do? Okay, already the system may be given directly or indirectly, so that we can calculate h of z. And if they are asking unit step response, that means what? Y of z, we know that y of z is equal to h of z and x of z. Okay, so x of z they given like unit step response. Unit step, that means what? What is the output? What is the response when the input is unit step? Okay, when the input is unit step. So x of n is equal to u of n. For that, if we take z transform, x of z is equal to z by z minus 1, just to multiply that with h of z. Then again you take the inverse z transform, then we can get y of n. Okay, so instead of asking the unit step response, they may be giving some other signal also. So input could be anything. It may be ramp signal or any other signal. Okay, so for that, again, we have to find out x of z. Just to substitute that x of z here, then finally we'll be getting the response. So next, we'll solve the given problem here. A system is represented by the following difference equation: y of n is equal to 7 and so on. That is, it consists of y of n and n minus 1 and n minus 2, and also x of n and n minus 2. One thing here is the output of the system depends on the present input as well as the past input as well as the past output. Okay, so already we know that these kind of systems and all, like a casual system, that means the output depends on present input and also the past input or past input, but not the future. So this is a causal system. So for that, we have to find out what is the transfer function h of z. And once if we know h of z, then we can find out impulse response just by taking the inverse z transform. Then finally, we have to find out what is the unit step response. Okay, so first we'll take the difference equation. Okay, from that we'll try to find out what is h of n. Again, before finding h of n, we have to find out h of z. Okay, so y of n is equal to 7y n minus 1 is 12y n minus 2 plus 2xn n minus 2. Now take the y component on one side and x component on the other side. So now y of n minus 7y n minus 1 plus 12y n minus 2 is equal to 2xn minus xn minus 2. Now take the z transform on both sides. Okay, take z transform on both sides. Okay, we know that the z transform of, we do not know what is y of n, just we'll write y of n z transform is y of z. Again, this is like z inverse 7 into z inverse. Okay, this is 7 into z inverse y of z. Why? Because this is shifted by the factor of 1. Okay, and we know that whenever time shifting is there, okay, that will become like z power. What is the shift? That is minus 1. So z power minus 1 plus 12 z power minus 2, and here 2 into x of z minus z power minus 2 x of z. Okay, take y of z outside, 1 minus 7 z inverse plus 12 z power minus 2. Again, take x of z outside, 2 minus z power minus 2. Then what is y of z divided by x of z? That is 2 minus z power minus 2 divided by 1 minus 7 z inverse plus 12 z power minus 2. Okay, either we can operate with negative power, or otherwise we can also operate with positive power. It's just now we'll convert this into the positive power. Okay, so just multiply with the z square both on numerator and denominator. Okay. Then we'll be getting 2z square minus 1 divided by z square minus 7z plus 12. Okay, so and we know that y of z divided by x of z is equal to h of z. Okay, so finally we have found out what is h of z. Okay, h of z is equal to 2z square minus 1 divided by z square minus 7z plus 12. Okay, so this is the transfer function of the system. Transfer function. Okay, next we have to find out what is h of n. Okay, what is h of n? So once if you know h of z, then what is h of n? And we know that now we have to take the inverse z transform. Okay, inverse z transform, that is h of for h of z, we have to take inverse z transform. Okay, already we have seen how to take the inverse z transform when we are with the positive power. Okay. Uh, Now h of z is equal to 2z square minus 1 divided by z square minus 7z plus 12. And we know that to find out the inverse z transform, we have to find out h of z divided by z. But here z is not there directly. Okay, why? Because we can take z from here, but not from this term. So that creates some problems here. So that now to find out h of z by z, we are introducing z by z. Okay, so that we'll get one extra z, that z we can take down. Again, another z is present here. Then just to take the factor for remaining things, that is z into z minus 3 into z minus 4. So it's very, very important, because whenever we find out the inverse z transform, we should have one z in the down, so that only we can easily take the inverse z transform. Okay, or otherwise it's difficult. Okay, we cannot apply the standard formula. To use the standard result, okay, we have to go by this method whenever we are operating with the positive power. Okay, if you are operating with the negative power, then the scenario is a little bit different. Okay, that also we'll try to see in this problem. Okay, so now we know what is h of z divided by z. Okay, uh, now h of z is, we know that we can write in terms of partial fractions. That means we'll be getting three terms, that is a by z plus b by z minus 3 plus c by z minus 4. Is then again just find out what is the value of abc. Okay, just I'm directly writing the result. Okay, value of a is minus 1 by 12. Okay, value of b is minus 17 by 3. Value of c is 31 by 4. Okay, divided by z minus 4. Now just take the inverse z transform, but this is not h of z, this is actually h of z divided by z. Okay, now we can take this z to this side. So we'll be getting h of z is equal to minus 1 by 12 minus 17 by 3 into z by z minus 3, z minus 3, then 31 by 4 z divided by z minus 4. Now we'll simply assume that this system is a causal system, because again we need exactly to find out the exact result, we need ROC. Just we'll assume that the system is causal system. That means the ROC is outside the unit circle. Okay, sorry, not outside the circle, that ROC is outside. Okay, just simply outside of something. Okay, so just right sided. Okay, with respect to circle it is outside-sided. Okay, with respect to time it is right sided. Okay, then take the inverse z transform. We know that whenever we have a number, okay, just write that number. We'll assume that 1 is present here. What is the inverse z transform of 1? That is del n. Okay, inverse z transform of 1 is del n, because if del n is there in time domain, then if you take z transform, then you'll be getting 1 only here. So just in the reverse we are writing. So minus 1 by 12 into del n minus 17 by 3 into z by z minus a. That means what? A power n u of n, that is 3 power n u of n. Here 31 by 4, 4 power n u of n. Okay, so this is the final h of n, impulse response of the given system. Then again, we have to find out what is the unit step response. Okay, what is the output? Okay, due to the unit step input. So again, finally, unit step response. We know that the response y of z is equal to h of z multiplied with x of z. Just now we have identified what is h of z. Okay, just we can directly take the result. H of z is equal to 2z square minus 1. Okay, minus 1 divided by z square minus 7z plus 12. Okay, this is h of z. Again, unit step is the input. What is the input? Input is unit step. Okay, unit step. Again, what is the z transform of this one? That is simply z by z minus a, that is z by z minus 1. Okay, so just introduce this z by z minus 1 for this x of z. Okay, so now here z by z minus 1. Okay, so now what we are getting? Z into 2z square minus 1 divided by z square. Again, here also we can take the factors. Okay. What is the factor? 3 comma 4, we will be getting 3 comma 4. So we can write like z minus 3, z minus 4, and this is z minus 1. Okay, so finally we are getting just I'm rewriting z into 2z square minus 1 divided by z minus 1, z minus 3, z minus 4. Okay, this is about y of z only, but we need to write in terms of y of n. Okay, response means in time domain. So for this y of z, we have to take inverse z transform, and we know that to find out inverse z transform, okay, when we are with the positive power, we have to take the z downside. That means y of z divided by z, that is equal to 2z square minus 1 divided by z minus 1, z minus 3, z minus 4. And now apply the partial fraction. So y of z divided by z is equal to a by z minus 1, z minus 1 plus b by z minus 3 plus c by z minus 4. Okay, so now just I'm going to write the ABC value directly. Okay, the value of A is 1 by 6 divided by Z minus 1. The value of B is minus 17 by 2 divided by Z minus 3. The value of C is 31 by 3 divided by Z minus 4. Again, take the Z upward. Okay, so Y of Z is equal to 1 by 6 Z by Z minus 1 minus 7. Minus 17 by 2 z by z minus 3 plus 31 by 3 z by z minus 4. Just take the inverse z transform. So y of n is equal to 1 by 6. What is z by z minus 1? Okay, that is u of n. Okay, u of n plus minus 17 by 2 a power n u of n, that is 3 power n u of n plus 31 by 3 4 power n u of n. Okay, again here also we are assuming the causality nature, just only right side, okay, but not the left side. Okay, now if you see the y of n here we are not getting any impulse, we are not getting any del n, whereas in the previous case here we are getting del n. Okay, but of course this is h of n, that is y of n, that's okay. But actually when we take the inverse as a transform, why sometimes we are getting del n, okay, but other times we are not getting. Okay, So the main reason here is just by looking into the transfer function itself, we can easily identify whether we'll get del n or not. Okay, see if you see this transfer function, if you concentrate here, the degree or order of the system, the maximum power here is 2, here also 2. Okay, if they are equal, okay, definitely you will be getting del n. Okay, if the power of the numerator and denominator is equal, okay, in the inverse transform, definitely del n will be there. Okay, if power of both numerator and denominator is equal, then in inverse Z transform del n will be there. Then what about here in y of z? If you see y of z, this is y of z. What is the order here we are getting? I think we are something misleading. So there is some inconsistency. There is some misunderstanding here. So regarding the discussion of this statement, so we'll stop. We'll discuss about it later. Okay, so now we'll stop with this. Thank you.